Hey guys, so we got my Nacet here, a lot of uses on it. Passione from Australian Private Reserve. Is that right? Private, yeah. APR, another abbreviation. Passion fruit, I believe. Some other notes like apricot, peach, raspberry, lime, green apple, Elemi, if I pronounce it that right. Vanilla and Musk. And my first time trying that brand. This is an Omega brush. I think 80266 is the numerical designation. And then my vintage Gillette Hybrid Tech from the UK, flat bottom, that sort of thing. And this is going to be maybe a quick shave. I've got to get to sleep. Did a lot of programming just now and I need to get back to bed. So 210 plus however many are here, so that's 216. And so that means right now we're about to do shave 217. And then we'll take the Nacet here and show it to you. Here's the top side that's always against the top cap. And then here's the bottom side. You can see the little remnants of the X on this side over the corner right there. I need to put, okay, let's go ahead and do that. All right. So since that X is kind of fading away, I'm going to put another mark on it. That way, if the X fades, then you guys can see that we've done a transition here. So let's just kind of right beside the X, I'll do 3 dots like that. Okay, so that's a little bit more of a distinctive notation to show that we're dealing with the same blade. And again, the top cap here, what I wrote on will be visible when the blade's installed on the top cap. And I just discovered recently that this razor, though it's kind of medium in aggression, worked really well with the Nacet. Maybe because it's such a thin head design that I was able to raise the handle up a little bit and put the blade at a more shallow angle in relation to my skin. I've been soaking my brush for maybe an hour or something like that. This guy's maybe about half full. Very tart and sweet, kind of all at the same time. Definitely that passion fruit, the peach is coming through. And we'll, the green apple probably. And we'll see what comes through later as we maybe get to some of those other notes as the top stuff kind of runs out, you know. All right, I'm gonna throw some water on my face and then we'll get going. So APR has done some good work apparently from just all that I'm reading in the kind of the perfuming world. They're not just doing duplicates of existing popular scents. They're kind of creating their own stuff. And so let's load up and we'll do just a 30-second load and see how that works. Just moderate pressure. Now these bristles are kind of long in relation to their backbone, and so they're actually not splaying too much. I'm kind of dragging them around. So I think that's 20 seconds. And there we go. And who knows if that's going to be enough? We'll see. can always go back to the puck if we need to. Roger Quintero lather bowl. I figure I would try this base, even though this scent is one that I'm probably not going to keep around. The tartness and that kind of just candy sweet passion fruit and peach and, you know, green apple is just not what I like. But I figure it's a good way for me to bring the base to you. This was a one of those things where I bought it because it included something that I really wanted a lot more. So I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and use it and then I'll sell it. And we'll be good. The water I'm using at this location is pretty soft, I believe. 1 teaspoon into the bowl. Another teaspoon into the bowl. So I had the Pro 48 by Omega, which is an unbleached boar brush. It has such a high loft, such long bristles that eventually it just, while I kind of like the feel because it's a big knot, it just was too floppy around on my face. I think the Italian barbers who use it have some kind of grip on it that includes grabbing the bottom part of the bristles, you know, to corral in the splay a little bit. So there's that one. Then I have the 10098, 10098, and that in the same way is unbanded, undyed, unbleached apparently, and I've used that several times, you know, about 20 times on this channel as a part of my Boarathon, and I've, you know, been hoping that it would soften up. And it's not prickly anymore, but it's just not soft yet. But the word I was getting was that those unbleached, unbanded Omegas could very well take a long time, year or 2 or 3, to really soften up. And we just have too many good boars in play for me to worry about doing that. And then I found this little guy, and he changed my attitude about the Omegas, because he is a lot softer, more backbone, not prickly. The tips are splitting. He's comfortable to use. All right, well, I don't think we've overwatered this, even though we've put in 3 teaspoons. We're not looking at a lot of lather here. So I may have to go back and, you know, pull some more from the puck. Let's just see what happens with the shave. All right, water on my face again. Allergies acting up a little bit. See what we get here. Scent reminds me of, I think it is Soap Makers of Awesome Town from Barrister and Mann. Definitely have some common scent notes in there. I don't have a lot of lather. Let's not have any fall off. So this is kind of disappearing and getting kind of slick. So let's treat it almost like a face lather a little bit and go in and get some more juice from the tub and then see if we can make this firm up on me here. Good massaging action for the face. Not prickly at all. And it looks like it's a little on the pasty side. So that just means we add a few drops to the brush. To see if we can kind of get it to look a little more creamy. And how much water we add to this can kind of help us know what the lather situation is like in the bowl, which looks like it's a little overwatered. So maybe I need to run this soap base a little drier than I might usually. We should have a nice amount of slickness on my face by now. Let's just see how it goes. Got the blade loaded up. Keep the handle kind of open, especially on this first pass, because that's where it has the potential to be tuggy, since this is an old blade. Many uses. I'm going to stop at 220. And then switch back to using younger blades. Since I'm a little restricted with the number of razors that can comfortably work this Nacet. All right. Huh. Interesting feel. We'll see how it feels after the first pass is done. All right, a little rinsing. All right, so I'm just going to go back to the puck for a couple of seconds there. And we'll gather up some of the lather from the bowl. Fortunately, it's not as strong in lather form as it is right when you're sticking your nose right in the tub. So by going to the soap tub first, I thickened up the soap mix on the brush, and then by going to the bowl after that, I then put on a wetter lather on the brush, and so hopefully that is kind of evening things out. Now let's take a moment and just kind of get some feel of this lather. Not a lot of cushion, but very nice slickness. Very slick. And it's kind of halfway between a watery slickness and a buttery type of slickness. That's a good performing soap. You do have some micro bubbles and things like that, but that's a good performer, looks like. In terms of just viscosity and feel, you know. All right. Cross grain now. Able to go pretty fast with this razor because I'm getting nice glide thanks to the soap. And this razor, because it's not really an aggressive razor, it's pretty safe. It's consistent. It looks like it grabs the blade up close to the edge. You know, you're not getting a whole lot of audio from the vibration of the blade. And to me, that's good. I like that because it means it's chattering less across my skin. Feel this kind of secondary slickness here. Yeah, there is kind of a good oily feeling on my skin here. It's like a light buttery feeling that you know, it's helping out my skin, and it's giving my skin good lubrication for the shave. All right, little rinse here. All right, let's load up and see if what's in the tub and brush here, the bowl and brush, is going to be enough to do the third pass. I'll probably need to do a touch-up pass on my neck. All right, don't need anything thick. Definitely getting the passion fruit. The scent hasn't really changed too much. Not really getting the vanilla or the musk. They might just be in there kind of doing a little supporting role. Not really getting the raspberry. I don't guess I'm good at picking out apricot. Don't need a lot of those. Cross grain again on my cheeks. Very comfortable. I can feel the cutting action, but it's controlled and it just feels like I'm getting a good shave. Yeah. Nice feel. And rinse. Well, I guess this scent is aptly named Passion. It's definitely not super manly. It's very fruity, tart, and sweet. And just paint on whatever I have in the bowl here. Oh, I do my face by habit, but I really just needed to do my neck. So we'll let the face just be a conditioning treatment. Hey, I was just reading a post the other day about a couple of people who advocate not using conditioner on your brushes when you clean them. It's definitely a common advice. Every once in a while, maybe when you first get a brush or just as a regular maintenance, to shampoo and conditioner your natural hair brushes. And a couple of people who really seem to know what they're talking about gave pretty good arguments. We're saying that conditioner has a lot of silicones in it, and that kind of attaches itself to your animal brush hairs, and it keeps it kind of blocks the hair from absorbing moisture and also letting it go, and that's not what you want. I'm kind of glad. I think I've conditioned one brush, shampoo and conditioner, because it makes a little bit of sense, because as humans we shampoo and conditioner our hair and we take care of it that way. So maybe that would also apply to these other animal hair brushes, but I don't think I'm going to use a conditioner on mine. And I mean, why even use a shampoo? Because we're using soap in them every time. And so I think what I'm going to do is just use something that is handy at cleaning off those hard water deposits, since I have hard water at home. And there are some specific soaps out there that are designed to do that. They're not shaving soaps, but there's one by Red Panda and another one by Zingari Man, and they're brush cleaning soaps. You don't shave with them, you just lather it up. You follow the instructions, but it's probably something like you just lather it up, let it sit for a while, a few minutes maybe, who knows, then rinse it out. Maybe repeat, I don't know. There's also one called Da Vinci something brush cleaning soap that I saw on Amazon. And so it looks like there's some out there. And sometimes Zingari Man, talked to her, she said there was borax and something else that helped to remove those hard water deposits. So it was good for that. Another inexpensive thing is just a vinegar soak. Make a vinegar solution, like maybe 1 part vinegar and 3 or 4 parts water or something like that, and just soak the bristles in that for several minutes. And that's a good way to help the hairs to stay healthy. They were talking about the chemical pH and all that, and the vinegar was a really helpful thing to do for the hairs, as well as, of course, cleaning off those deposits. So I like that. I'm not getting a close enough shave right here that I want. So let's do another touch-up pass and just really try to be purposeful about it. Get some of the last bits of lather from the brush. My elbow, because of an injury, doesn't want to bend that way, so I need to remember to use my other hand. So I like the soap base. Seems like it's doing pretty well. I just didn't load long enough for this particular application. Light touch, pulling the skin just a little. I don't want to stir up irritation by hitting an area too much. So I'm making sure to kind of bring the lather back to it. And I think we've done it here. Yeah, that's good. So it took a little bit more work. So it's possible that this razor, while it's more comfortable with the old Nacet, maybe not as efficient. So I may want to look into other razors to keep going with the Nacet. So it looks like 217, so just 3 shaves. I don't have too many razors with me as I'm traveling here, so I'm a little limited there. All right, I'm going to rinse. All right, so we used up all the soap, all the lather that we had created, definitely. I did it with 30-second load plus, who knows, 10 or 15 seconds outside of the initial load. I added drops. I started out with 3 teaspoons of water, and then I added a little bit less than half teaspoon in terms of drops to that first pass of lather. It looks like that this soap base is good from APR. It's got a nice slickness to it. Do they have ingredients? Let's take a look here. Stearic acid, beef tallow. It is a tallow soap. Potassium hydroxide. I'll show you some of them there. Lanolin. A little bit of silk protein. A little bit of almond oil, shea butter. So it's got some good stuff in there, and I could tell it wasn't just a watery slickness that I sometimes get with a vegan soap. Not all vegan soaps, but just some. And all right, so almost 3.5 teaspoons of water for this one. Maybe 45 seconds of loading, and next time I might load a little bit longer just to make sure to have some extra soap for this one. So let's throw on some puzzle because we're doing that contest. Declaration Grooming 2019 puzzle. I'm gonna try to guess the scents. We'll see how close we can come. Whoever gets the closest gets an amazing brush opportunity from Declaration. Comfortable shave. That's an alcohol splash. No tingling or stinging or anything like that. And so I'm getting nice comfort with this old blade. Do get a little tugging sometimes with certain razors, and especially if I go 2 days with growth instead of shaving every day. I think we're ready to clean up and put things away. Okay, so the scent strength on the Passion, I'm just going to call it Passion instead of saying Passione or something like that every time. The scent strength on here is a little heavy and when you've got your nose in the tub, but when it's in lather form on your face, especially mixed in the kind of the ratios that I use, it is much less tart, much less sickeningly sweet. And I could definitely shave with this every day if I needed to. It does match with the, like I said earlier, with the fruitiness and the kind of the tartness, sticky sweet stuff. It does kind of match its name, and that's just fine. Obviously, people are going to be interested in this one who like that sort of thing. But it's not super strong, and so I could use it every day if I needed to. But I think I will pass this one on to somebody else because there are just so many great soaps out there. This is a good base. I'm glad I got to try it. And so I wouldn't be afraid of, if I sound an APR scent sounded really good to me. I now know that they've got a good base. And I kind of knew that anyway because there's so many good reports, but it's always good to know firsthand. All right. Never did I ever pick up the vanilla or the musk. Okay, maybe a little bit of vanilla because that can be intertwined in the sweetness a little bit. Not really anything musky. I don't know what Elemi, Elemi. I don't know what that smells like. All right, almost done cleaning up. So here's the brush now that it's been kind of cleaned up and rinsed out and stropped on the towel a little bit. Now my Samog brushes will look a little bit more splayed out. The Omega brings his guys in a little bit. He did feel when I was loading him up, you see how the bristles kind of drag behind? It was doing that in the soap, and maybe that's why I needed to load for a little bit longer for this brush, because it wasn't staying splayed on the soap like many brushes do. Not super dense, but definitely does the job. Comfortable, enjoyable. I'm glad I have it. And so when I say banded, I mean this black dyed strip here on the bristles. And they're just softer tips and stuff because they've been treated a little bit to soften them up. All right, well, there we go. That was a good shave. Comfortable, enjoyable, and nice glide. It's a good base from APR. Happy with that. Enjoyable to use the Hybrid Tech again. And maybe we'll try another razor tomorrow. I do have I think it's my 1936 Aristocrat with me. That's an open comb that puts a pretty good bend on the razor blade. So that might be a good one to try with the Nacet. All right. Well, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves. That's it for tonight. Hope there's been something here for you to help you out. Take care.